Hello, welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which as you can see, it's my 1 year YouTube anniversary. A year ago today, I uploaded my tour of York, and a lot has changed, yet I still am in desperate need of a haircut. I have less of an excuse this year because last year we were in a lockdown. This year, to be fair, I've just been let down by my barber on 3 separate occasions. But that would be going off on a tangent already, and we all know that I'm good at doing that, so I'm going to stop myself from doing that here. As you might be able to tell, I haven't made any notes for this, and I probably will ramble, so I suggest you get yourself a drink, because you might be here a while if you want to watch this. I've got myself a Coke Zero that we got left over from Christmas. Celebrate good times and all that. And I just wanted to come on and kind of do like a 1 year recap, because so much has changed. So much has changed because from the age of 3 until last July, I was in education. And this year has been the biggest transition because I've transitioned out of education and into the workplace, and it's been scary and exciting and thankfully overall positive. Not all of it has been, especially when I first started the channel. The channel started because, well, I'd wanted to do it for a while. Wanted to do it since I was like 13, but, you know, was scared of putting myself on the internet, scared of the reaction from other people, my peers, and also didn't know what I was going to be talking about. And then it came to last February, and I'd, by this point, already made quite a connection with a fair few people in the reselling community. Kirsten, Carla, Lex. I was watching Nick and Andrew, though I hadn't really made any connection with them at that point. Just different people, and Lainey too, of course. And it came to February, and Kirsten filmed a tour of her hometown and suggested that her viewers could do the same and upload it, and then we'd all be able to see each other's towns and feel like we were getting out, because obviously at that point in time we were in a 3rd lockdown with the Delta variant and we couldn't really go anywhere. And it was like the push that I needed to start making videos. So I filmed my tour of York, which I rewatched the other week, and I was surprised at how professional that video is, to say it was my first ever upload. So yeah, I'm proud of 2021 Jack for that video. It took me many attempts to film the introduction to it, and it took me many hours to edit it, but I did it, and from there the channel has continued. Last February when I started the channel, I wasn't in a great place. I'm very fortunate that for the vast majority of my life so far, my mental health has been stable and fine. But last year we were in the 3rd lockdown, absolutely sick of it. It was miserable outside. I'd been trapped at home with my parents since October, rather than being at university, in a house that I was paying rent for, with my friends, just unable to live the student life that I was paying through the nose for. I was frustrated and upset and just generally down and stressed with uni because I was in my final semester of my degree. Sorry about that. The dog apparently doesn't like Amazon delivery drivers. Where was I? That's completely thrown me off. Oh, and he's just come into the room to join me. Where was I? Yeah, February, not in a great place. And as I started a channel, I started a channel the day before I moved back to Liverpool. I moved back on Valentine's Day, that time was difficult, and as the months went on, things didn't get any better because I was just getting continuously more stressed with uni. Are you coming up? Go on. Quiet down. I was just getting continuously more stressed with uni until the sort of May, and there was also things that I was realising about myself that have had positive change since I've dealt with them, but at the time made me feel rubbish, and it was effectively my reliance on other people to feel valued. And since then, I've learned so much about myself and genuinely put a lot less importance on what other people think of me as to how good I feel about myself. And that's got very deep there, but that is what was going on, and I'm glad that I'm out the other side of that now, and I have grown a lot from that and learnt a lot from that, so it's turned into a positive. And then yes, as I said, we hit May and I finished uni, so that stress completely went. That was, yeah, looking back, I can't believe I did it. I was pulling like 18, 19 hour days, just working as hard as I possibly could. And then after May, all the celebrations came. Me and my friends were very aware that it was our last summer together before we all went our own separate ways. And as much as we were all really good friends and we knew that we'd make effort to see each other after uni, Charlie, stop being needy, please. As much as we make the effort to see each other, which we have done since, it's the last time that we'd all be in the same place together and it would be easy to see each other. So we did an awful lot. We went on camping trips, we went on walks, we went to the Isle of Wight, we went to the beach, just whatever we could to spend time with each other and make those memories which we'll all have forever, and I'm so grateful for that. It was the best summer, it really was. I managed to get down to London a few times, but then towards the end of the summer came the need to earn some money because I was no longer being funded by the government and my parents. So I started looking for a job and I got really lucky. He's heard of that outside. I got really lucky and I was offered an interview on the 4th job that I applied for, and then subsequently was offered a job after the interview. As a lot of you will know, I got the job with SMR Architects based in Harrogate in North Yorkshire, and it's been brilliant. I can't talk about what work I do because I'm under a non-disclosure agreement, but it is for, I think they're the biggest company in the world, is the client that I work with. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get fired. But SMR as a company are amazing. The culture that they have there is so positive, the team spirit. We have a group, we have someone that heads up the social events. So now that things have got better with COVID again, she sets up all the events so that once or twice a month we'll go out and do something, whether it's a meal or drinks or an event. Like last year there was a beer keller event, there was a beer week in Harrogate that we went to. Next week we are going to an Indian restaurant, and that's the first social of this year now that restrictions have been fully lifted. There's also someone who heads up the physical socials. So last year we were playing rounders, and A big thing this year, which I have signed up for, is a 10k Tough Mudder in July, so we're going to start training for that when the lighter nights come. They also give you a Christmas bonus and an annual wage rise that they try to meet inflation with. And they really do care about their employees, and I have really landed on my feet with this job. It's been such a positive transition, because I was so worried that I would loathe getting up in the morning to commute for an hour and give up my week to work, basically. Sorry, the dog's trying to lick me. Charlie, you are lovely, but you crave too much attention sometimes. Are you coming back up? Go on then. Yeah, and I did struggle to begin with. There's no hiding that. Not struggle, but I don't know. It was a big adjustment. It's the first full-time job I've ever had, and it was very strange suddenly having so little free time. But having the routine, a structured routine, has made me so much more productive in the free time that I do have, and has meant that I'm getting better sleep, I'm eating better. It's just improved my life in so many ways that not having that routine as a student, I didn't realise just how important it was. Because I'm not the sort of person that can force a routine unless I need one. As in, I don't have the willpower. I have to have a routine with work because I have to be there at a set time and I leave at a set time and certain things are expected of me. So unless I had that, apologies, my stomach's rumbling. Until I had that, I just never forced myself to do it because I'm just not that kind of person. And over time, it has taken me, I've chipped away at it with setting the routine up, being more productive, because those first couple of months I'd get in from work and I would be so tired and I would fall asleep on my bed and then feel rotten. I'd wake up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, feel absolutely rotten, and go back to sleep, but wouldn't be able to get back to sleep until like 2 in the morning, and then I'm up at 6:30 for work, and so on and so on. And it took me a while to break that and get the right amount of sleep and really settle into it, and then structure my evenings to be productive. And that kind of took me until Christmas, because eBay was suddenly something that I was so aware of, because I had all this stuff, and I've obviously done videos on this, and quite recently, so the vast majority of you will know that. I had all this stuff that I'd been just putting in the cupboard and not dealing with, and it all needed listing and it needed to go, and that started taking up my evenings by getting that photographed and listed. My stomach is really gurgling. That started taking up my evenings, and I felt productive, but then I started feeling like all I was doing was working 24/7, because I was working, getting up in the morning, going to the office, working 8 hours, driving home, having something to eat, working 3 or 4 hours doing my eBay on a night. As much as I enjoy eBay, like most resellers, I love the sourcing, but when it comes to the photographing and listing, not such a big fan. Because it's just so time consuming and monotonous. But after Christmas, my stomach just really is going for it today. I should eat something after this. After Christmas, I knew that I needed to start training for this Tough Mudder that I told you about before, that I signed up to with work. It's on the last day of July in Skipton, and I haven't run since school, besides last year when I signed up to Pure Gym, went twice, ran 5k, and decided that I was fit enough to not bother going back effectively. And so I signed up to a gym, but I was quite specific in what I wanted. Because I've moved back home, I didn't want to go to the gym, well, any of the gyms in my local town. There's a town that's a bit closer to me than York is, and I didn't want to go to any of the gyms there because all the people at school that took issue with me, as in just used a hell of a lot of gay slurs and really made most of my high school career hell, but that's in the past now, are there. And I've moved away from that. I've been to uni. As much as I've still got all my friends from school, like the twins and Edward, and my Interrail friends, I've moved away from that. I've got my uni friends. Life is so different. That's all in the past now. And I didn't want to go to a gym and start reliving that by being surrounded by the toxic masculinity of those small-minded individuals that have stayed in this town, have not bettered themselves, have not learned any new experiences, and I still see to this day posting things on Facebook that are misogynistic, racist, and homophobic. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant there, but it's the truth. I do not think that I'm any better than those people for having been to university. However, I have learnt new experiences from that. I've become a better person, and I have had a much more broader view of the world. Where I live is incredibly white. It is incredibly straight. There are a lot of people around here with very backwards views, and has been really difficult to come back to somewhere that is so undiverse compared to being in a city at university. And I genuinely think that's what it boils down to. I don't think I'm any better than these people, but I don't agree with their views, and I would hate to be one of those people. So therefore, sorry, long story short, I decided that I didn't want to be going to those gyms. I didn't want to surround myself with those people. I wouldn't feel comfortable in those surroundings. And so basically my requirements were that I wanted somewhere that was on my way home from work, but also easily accessible on a weekend from home. So obviously not one in Harrogate, because that's like an hour's drive from where I live. And I also wanted somewhere with a pool, because I knew that if it just had a gym, I wouldn't go as much, because there's some nights when I won't be bothered to work out properly, and instead I can just get in the pool and have a swim. And so I ended up settling on a place in the village next to me. It's a country house hotel that has its own spa and gym attached to it. Now, it's a wonderful place, but when I saw the price, I really sort of double backed on myself. I thought, that's quite a lot of money on a monthly basis. But then I realised that it's important to give myself that time and that space for myself and do something for myself. And whilst I'm living at home and I don't have set bills to pay besides some rent to my parents and running my car, that I shouldn't be depriving myself of that. I think in life we're always, well, not all of us, but a lot of us, and certainly the people I'm surrounded by, feel guilty for spending money on yourself and your well-being. And so I signed up, and I've only been going for 3 weeks, but genuinely the difference it's made has been astounding, because now on a night I can go down my way home from work and it's a couple of hours that I get to myself. The people that go there are mainly middle-aged, which is exactly what I want because I don't fear their judgment. I don't feel uncomfortable around them. It's very quiet. Often when I'm there, there's only 3 or 4 other people there, whereas the gyms in my local town are the well-known branded gyms that are incredibly popular and incredibly busy because everyone's going after work. It's when the vast majority of gym users are there. And sometimes I get the pool area to myself, and it has a really nice relaxed atmosphere, a nice hot tub and sauna and steam room. There's a salt inhalation room and an aromatherapy room. And it's just a really nice environment to spend a couple of hours a day looking after myself, basically. So I really feel like I've regained my personal space and time because I was struggling also with being at work for 8 hours a day in an office with 50 people and then coming home and my parents are here and just not having my own space. And as much as there are people that go to the gym, like I say, it's very quiet and I am just within myself. I can really relax and decompress. And I've really been enjoying that time there. So to me, it really is so far worth the money. So with regard to the Tough Mudder, at the moment I'm focusing on running. I've been running 5k every time that I'm going, more or less. And I'm working on just bringing that time down very slowly, and then I'll up it to 6k and bring that time down slowly, and 7k, and so on until I get to 10k. I've got just less than 6 months because, well, I've got 5.5 months to get there. And I also want to build up a little bit of muscle and tone up because the Tough Mudder has obstacles, and I'm going to need to be able to carry my own body weight, which at the moment I can do 1, perhaps 2 pull-ups, and that's my limit. So yeah, want to improve on that as well, but nothing major. I don't want to get built or ripped or anything of the sort. Since starting work, I've gained some weight. I put a stone on, and that's simply from being sat behind a desk all day. And so I would like to shift that. I'm not necessarily bothered about the weight because if I'm putting muscle on, that weight's not going to go down, it'll probably go up. So I'm not going to be focusing on the scales in the slightest. It's more about how I look and feel in myself. And we all know how we look and feel because of how our clothes fit and how we look in the mirror when we're naked. And I have the great privilege of having a full-length mirror next to the shower in my bathroom, so there's no hiding from it. So that's where I've got to now, and I'm so glad, so glad that I started this channel because I've documented, as I said, the most transitional year of my life. I'd say the second most transitional year would have been the year that I started uni, but at the end of the day, it still was education based, but it was that big step of moving away from home. This year's the transition of moving back home, and it's been really difficult giving up my freedom. In a sense, my parents are great, they don't restrict me. However, you still have a level of restriction by living in the same house as them. There's no getting away from that. So it's been learning to not have my own private space again, but also regaining some private space by gaining this room that I film in now on an evening when my dad's not using it as his office during the week. That's made a huge difference. Getting on with my eBay has made a huge difference, and starting the gym has made a huge difference. And now I think I feel really productive because I feel like I'm spinning different plates. I started off, if we take ourselves back to last February, I was spinning the 2 plates, mental health and uni. And then through the summer, I didn't really have any plates to spin because I didn't have uni to worry about, and my mental health had improved. And then come August, I was spinning the plate of work. and that was spinning on its own until I got to Christmas and started spinning eBay alongside it, and now on top of that I'm spinning the gym, and I'm managing to intertwine those three and get them all done and feel productive, and it's making me more money, it's making me feel more productive in myself and better about myself, and it's making me feel like I am using my time to my full advantage and benefiting myself as well as just being productive in general. Because when I was just doing work and eBay, I just felt burnt out. Well, I went from feeling burnt out with work to feeling productive about work and eBay, and then feeling burnt out with work and eBay, and now the gym's really helping to balance that out. And I feel like I'm adulting and like I'm finally starting to get the hang of it, and that's a nice feeling to have. 1 year on from starting this channel, I'm actually incredibly proud of myself and what I've managed to achieve. And I'm proud that I've learnt to be proud of myself, because this time last year I would be bashful and wouldn't acknowledge my achievements to the same extent that I do now, because I'd be scared of looking like I'm boasting too much. But I've got my degree, I've started a job, I've technically got a second job with eBay that I do on the side. Managing at the moment, I'm selling more or less an item a day, which is great for me as a sideline. Sometimes more than that. If it became much more than that, I wouldn't be able to handle it, so that is perfect for me. And yeah, I am just grateful for what I've achieved. I'm proud of what I've achieved. I'm proud of the place that I've got myself to, in what actually in hindsight is a relatively short space of time. I've never been the most motivated person. At school, at college, even at uni, I was always a person that left everything till the last minute because I couldn't be bothered. Off he goes again. And I've managed to change that, and I think it's purely down to having a routine. But it's good, and I suppose there's always been one more plate, and that has been YouTube, because there have been times when I've struggled to know what to film and struggled to make the time to film and get it edited and uploaded. And I've now kind of got into the swing of it, and it doesn't feel like a chore, because at one point it kind of did, and I never mentioned it because who'd want to watch someone's videos that they were telling their viewers were a chore to film? You're not going to want to do that, are you? And I was still, it wasn't that I was being fake or anything like that. It was just a bit of a struggle, but with everything else, as I've said, it's all balanced out now, and I'm really enjoying what I'm filming. I have had the dilemma of, I know a lot of the people that watch me are watching me purely for the eBay reselling and are less interested in my sort of like vlogs and whatnot. And at the moment my channel is pretty eBay heavy, but that is because I'm doing less stuff that's interesting to show you. But I certainly am still going to continue doing that. So when I go for a weekend away somewhere, if I want to film, I will film it. I potentially am going abroad for the first time since the pandemic started, in a couple of months' time. We haven't booked it yet, but if we do, I will tell you about that, and I will certainly be filming that because I can't wait. And so moving forward, things aren't really going to change much around here, because eBay is still filling a lot of my time. I'm spending a lot of my lunch breaks at work sourcing, which I'm really enjoying. The listing process I am actually enjoying more than I used to now that I've got into the swing of it, especially doing the research on interesting items. And as I said in my eBay update for January, and the dog's back again. This is what I have to put up with. I love him so much, but you, mister, can be quite annoying sometimes. Are you going to sit down? Or are you coming up? Come on. Now. Good boy. He's thrown me off tangents so many times in this video, I'm sure you can tell. I love you, but oh. Anyway, yes. As I said in my eBay January update, I've got to the stage now where, as much as I have been sometimes picking up things, well, right, okay, sorry, let me rephrase this. I've got a nice balance now of picking things up simply because they're a nice label, but also picking things up even though they're a label that I don't know, because I like the item, because maybe it's nice materials, or it's a nice design, or it's an interesting item, as opposed to just going, that's phase 8, get it. And I'm really happy with that, because it's making it so much more enjoyable to sell stuff that you actually care about, as opposed to just going, oh great, that's a brand that I think will sell amazing, that'll make me lots of money. So it's that balance of getting those labels that make money, getting stuff that I like, and trying to stay around the profit margin that I want, and sale value that I want, because I'm aiming for around the £20 an item mark. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it is less. Yes, fair enough. But if I was selling things constantly at the sort of like £8 to £12 mark, I know it would make me unproductive, because it wouldn't feel like a great use of my time to spend all that time sourcing, listing, or photographing, listing, packaging for those lower margins. And I feel like I'm getting to grips with it more. I feel a lot more experience with it, and that comes with time, because I didn't start buying to resell on eBay until after I started this channel around Easter, so last April, so it hasn't even been a full year of reselling yet. I'd used eBay an awful lot before that, for selling personal stuff. Honestly, since I was about 12 or 13, my parents let me sell my own toys and put me in charge, left me in charge of that. And it's funny looking back at that to where I've got to now. So yeah, that's a whole tangent that I've just gone off on there. To summarise, I've got to a nice place in the last year, and the place I'm at now I'm very happy with, and I'm grateful for that. And things moving forward I expect to stay relatively the same, because they are working well for me. And effectively, what I'm trying to say is, I am just filming and uploading whatever I want to and what I enjoy, and I hope that you guys enjoy that too, because it is great to have the interaction, and that's something that I've said for the whole of this last year. The interaction is so important to me, and don't get me wrong, it's been lovely to see the channel grow. I'm almost at 400 subscribers as I upload this, and there's more and more people in the comments to interact with, and more familiar faces that are making really lovely interactions with me, and that's what it's all about for me. I've made some friends. I went to the YouTube reseller meetup, finally met all the people that I've been talking to online for all these months and actually years. It's been coming up to a 2-year mark since I found a reselling community, because I found them in the first lockdown, which obviously was March 2020, so we're only a month off that. So looking back, there has been so many positive changes in every aspect of my life. Uni, personal life, work, eBay, YouTube, gym. That's 6 different elements, 6 different plates, as I've been referring to them, that have aligned and have positive feedback from, not feedback, but positive outcomes to, and I'm now in a place that I'm happy with. And it's been great to have you all come along with me on this journey. I don't like that word, but I don't know what else to call it. Series of events. doesn't sound as good. I'm grateful for you all, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for watching, thank you all for supporting, thank you all for commenting and liking and subscribing. If you're watching this and you're new and you haven't done any of those, please feel free to stick around. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment. Thank you all so much for watching. I have no idea how long this video is. I have rambled, but that's just me. There's been interruptions, there has been the dog throwing me off, there's been my stomach rumbling, but that's just a typical setup from me. It's a little bit chaotic. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon with another upload, and here's to starting my second year on YouTube.